I did a poll and asked if you guys wanted this video or ranking every NSB world video. But this one got more votes. Currently at least. So today, I'm going to be ranking every single item in the game. And while there's actually really only one item, the healing potion, but I'm going to be including the armor, swords, magic spells, trinkets, and the healing potion. This video is going to be based off of how useful the items are, so let's get ranking. 17, Dimension Rift. I don't see anybody disagreeing with me here, honestly, at all. This magic spell is particularly not really useful in the game at all. It makes the screen entirely red and makes the screen shake. Not to mention that it can legitimately make enemies and objects look scary, dude. Yeah, I'm saying this. The frost beetle when the Dimension Rift is on, I'm not ashamed to say it. It looks freaking scary. Also, dark energy will just fly around the screen as well. Most of the time, not really that annoying, but the only time I really find it useful is when you have to kill that lesser corruptor that only shows up by using the spell in the frozen temple. 16, the healing potion. The name's self-explanatory. It only heals 5 hearts though, so don't expect that to do much, but at least it's more useful than the rift. 15, magic bomb. It's also self-explanatory. It's a bomb that's for some reason made of magic. It's only really useful to find secrets and maybe kill some enemies and, progressing on from the plains. But it doesn't really kill enemies that move fast, so it's really not useful that much. 14, the brass sword. The first sword you're getting in this game is unsurprisingly not that strong. It only does about 3 to 6% of damage, when it's not upgraded at least. It's able to kill the grass walkers with only 2 hits though. While the beginner ones, at least all in a way, are not that useful though. But a good starter sword compared to the enemies that you first encountered. 13, magic bolt. You retrieve it after finding out that your master is dead. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm not talking about that. So, the bolt. You can shoot it and it does about 5 to 10% of damage. I find it to be one of the most useful defense arms in the game. It's great for when you have to hit something far in range. All in all, it's a decent item, just not pretty much anywhere close to the best, but it's pretty decent. 12, the iron sword. It's an iron brass sword. That didn't make any sense. It's worth 80 soul shards, albeit, but it's not really a useful sword. Legend says it, that's why I forgot to include it in my all swords. 11, the needle. It's the brass sword, but it does 11 to 20% of damage if it's not upgraded. But I will say it is kind of in a hidden spot. Not really that well hidden, but it's decently hidden. 10, the ice trinket. The first trinket that you'll be putting on the list is not really that useful. It's best to use on spells. If you have the ice trinket in any slot of your inventory, the sword, armor, magic, spell slot, then it'll freeze the enemies for not even 2 seconds. Now, yes, you could possibly say that if you have the trinket on your armor, if you bump into an enemy, it freezes them. But like I said earlier, it only freezes them for less than 2 seconds, so it's literally exactly the same as if you were to hit them with a sword or your magic spells, but you're bumping into them. This trinket is not useful whatsoever. 9, shadow trinket. I don't think I said this with the ice trinket, but it doesn't really do a different amount of damage when you put it on your sword or magic spell. Same thing goes for the ice one. But when you put it on your magic spell, it makes the energy regenerate faster, and when it's on the sword, it steals energy. It's not too useful unless it's on your armor though, because it can thankfully actually heal you. I find that to be very useful, but don't really expect it to heal you that fast though. 8, Dragon's Grasp. It's essentially the magic bolt with slight stair bullets. You can pull yourself up on purple goo, and it's actually required to beat the game. Looking at you, Mega Blade. It also becomes very useful since there's so many spots at the fire depths where you have to use it. You also need to fight the boss at the fiery depths. You actually need it to finish the boss. I mean, unless it becomes close enough to that point when you can hit them, but I still shoot normally like the magic bolts because it's just generally faster. You can also force the enemies to come near you. It's kind of like that spear that Scorpion uses in Mortal Kombat. But for some reason it does the same amount of damage as the bolt. They both do 66% of damage at max, which is odd to me. It's kind of stupid and doesn't make any sense. But this one shoots longer range, so I guess you could say it's better. 7. The Broadsword, costing around 200 soul shards and doing 38% of damage at level 10. I'm gonna say this right now, it is not worth it. I fought the Overseer with it, and it did 1% of damage against him. It's useless if you're not upgraded. It's one of the absolute worst swords in the game entirely. I'm surprised they're even putting it lower on the list, considering it doesn't even do nearly as much damage as what's called the Dragon's Grasp. I don't even know what the script is doing now, but I mean, I guess you would say it's better because you your energy has to regenerate with your magic spells, but still, this sword is just basically entirely useless. I used to love using this sword, but after I replayed the game, I realized it doesn't do any damage at all. 6. The Fire Trinket. It's always been the best of trinkets. To start off, it does the most damage. If it's max upgraded with a Mega Blade, it can do a whopping 158 damage at max. You can easily pry your way through enemies with it, and since it's so powerful, to be honest, I would have rather there be a way to actually find the trinket. I just feel that it would have been better instead of just finding it in a regular old shop. But it's not really that much of a problem considering it's the first trinket that you'll ever find, so it's kind of just expected to be simple. 5. The Plate Armor. Things that would normally do 2% of damage now do 1. There's not much to say about it. It does half the damage that it would do with no armor. 4. The Thorn. It's kind of identical to the Broadsword. At level 12, it does 58% of damage at most. It's a very slight upgrade from the Broadsword, but it's just slightly more useful. But like I said earlier, it's not really that powerful. But I do like the secret to find it though. You're supposed to get on these pots and then jump on top of them and get over the house. I like the secret. 3. The Magic Sword. Let me tell you this right now. This sword does some dang freaking damage. It does a heckin' lot. At level 13 with the Fire Trinket, it does 98% of damage. And that might not seem like a lot, but when it's at a level 14, it does a whopping 112% of damage. That's a hella upgrade, dude. That is so much damage. The only thing I don't really like is the boss that you have to fight to get the sword. The Skeleton Lord is just way too overpowered and it's very annoying to fight him. If you don't have the magic armor, it's really annoying. Oh yeah, and also, speaking of which, 2. The Magic Armor. I'm going to give you 2 examples, then I'll explain why it's so low on the list. If the Frozen Temple boss hits you with a hammer, it does 1 heart of damage. If it hits you with no armor, it takes away 4 hearts. If you fall into the Chamber of Power's lava with the magic armor, it takes away 2 hearts. If you fall into the Chamber's lava with no armor, it takes away 8 hearts. Enough said. 1. The Mega Blade. 2 things to say. The first boss takes 2 hits per phase to finish. So 4 hits on both phases. With both phases combined. First boss killer. And at max with the Fire Trinket, it does a whopping 158 damage, as I did say earlier though. That's a lot of dang damage. But for some reason, at the first final phase of the boss, it only does 6% of damage, and 3% against the Master of Chaos. It's not actually really a ginormous problem, but it's always been very odd to me. But regardless, even if it doesn't do that much damage against Chaos, it's still powerful. Thank you guys for watching my video. My last one got a crap ton of likes and views. Well, not likes, views. So thanks for that. If you enjoyed watching that video that's about to be on the screen. And with that being said, peace.